chapter clicked in to College Volleyball Weekly on Viral Volley Media. Now here's your host, Rob on mic.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20. And I am so excited for this episode because it's the other half of Spanish Olympians, Daniela Alvarez and Tania Moreno of TCU. Didn't get a chance to talk over the summer right before the Olympics. They were so sweet to agree to come on, but I think that because they're training, there's some other stuff going on. You got to take care of stuff, stressful time. So we just had Dani, not just Dani, but now we got Tania. And it's ironically, we were talking before jumping on a long time that I've known you guys since you were freshmen in Manhattan Beach back in the Fall Paris Championship. But Tania, thank you so much for coming on.
No, of course. Thank you for inviting me. Such a pleasure.
Oh, I remember when you got the first AVCA Paris champion. I interviewed you guys there. You guys have been on a couple times.
True, true. And time flies. I don't even know when that was, but yeah, it's been a long time.
A few years wiser and plenty of years better. That's for sure. Well, let me start with the most obvious question because I think a lot of people, especially these days, wondered how you got into volleyball. Were you a indoor to beach convert, or were you beach from the get-go?
Well, let me start saying that it's a family thing. My mom was a professional beach volleyball player, and my dad used to coach her. So I guess I had no choice there. Since I was born, I was surrounded by balls and always scrolling on the sand. So I did play other sports like tennis, did a couple of years of track and field just to combine sports and not just get bored of volleyball. But yeah, I played indoor for 4 to 6 years. My mom was coaching me and she wanted me to get the different feeling of the
Mhm.
ball, the team, and develop some values there, team values. And I always combine it with beach volleyball. So I'll say that when I first took my first steps, that's when I started playing beach volleyball.
Well, it's funny because the next question I have is when did you decide to pursue beach volleyball from a competitive and a career standpoint?
When I was 14, I made a big step moving to the international center of beach volleyball, where the national team is in Spain. And that was 2026, 2020, oh, 2016,
When
2017, something like that.
you're
Sorry.
jumping too far ahead.
Yeah, sorry. And that's when I moved away from home. I started this new program. That's where I met Dani. So for me, that was the beginning of something. It wasn't anything important, just like create players from the base for better skills
Mhm.
and we didn't even have a solid pair. We were always rotating, playing some youth international competitions, European championships. So that's when I started developing my more professional athlete path, and here I am now.
Wow, that's crazy insane because, so you said you were 14 when you moved away from home with a
Mhm.
federation.
Yes.
So you were living in a dorm with a bunch of other 14, like teenagers playing beach
It,
or volleyball.
it was something completely new. It was a new program of the federation, just beach volleyball, new facilities, and it was 4 girls. Danny was there too, and 4 guys with an amazing coaching staff. And since then, a lot of things changed, but it's still there, and that's where we practice between tournaments or whenever we go back to Spain.
So you're playing in a lot of the FIVB U17s, U19s, because I believe I'm one of those people that watches all the streams online, and I came across your name a bunch of times along with Danny's. I'm like, oh, and then I put together that you're coming to TCU as commits. So, but you'd been doing it for some time together, I guess, right?
Yeah, we played the Youth Olympic Games. That was one dream that came true, apart from the Paris Olympics 2024. But I think Dani already committed to TCU by that time. She already knew she wanted to go to the US, study abroad, play college. I never had it in my mind. I never planned to do something like that. It was Dani that convinced me that I don't know, that she was just like, giving me this feeling of what college sport was. And Hector too was there. So I did my official visit, and yeah, things started getting along together. And at the end, yeah, everything worked.
So you did start playing. You connected with Dani at the federation, and then she twisted your arm into coming to the United States. But what part? I mean, obviously, Hector and Majo are incredible coaches, and there is a connection to the Spanish program. But what finally swayed you to come over? If it wasn't, if it weren't for Dani.
Well, I would say Dani, she was really brave, because she took the opportunity whenever she could. She was leaving a program that gave her a lot, and I'm repeating myself. She was so brave on making that decision. And 1 year later is when I committed to TCU. And to be honest, I did my official visit. I saw how things worked, that teammate atmosphere,
Mhm.
um, things way different as they work in Spain. So I just realized I had an opportunity to, and playing with Dani for 4 years together, and then coming back to Spain, that was also creating a project for the future, and it
Mhm.
helped us so much in so many different ways. Because probably we have stayed in Spain, I cannot tell, but we would have played together or not, and we wouldn't have that teammate, that spirit, the program that TCU has. So yeah, I don't regret my decision at all.
Well, it's worked out great for you because you haven't been separated your entire career at TCU, with exception. I think I saw like one duel right before you left for the Olympics where you didn't play together, and I think you were maybe taking some time off, or Hector was wanting to play with the lineup a little bit. But it is only one duel for I think 2024 or 2023 that you didn't play with Dani.
Yeah, maybe it was senior weekend or something like that. Maybe I was senior. I cannot even remember, to be honest. But yeah, we've been together for a long time.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, Dani had committed to playing in the United States pretty early on. But what finally made you realize, like, well, it's not only an opportunity, but to actually go into another country and play? What finally pushed you over the edge to go, like, make that decision?
Well, first, the opportunity. Whenever you have an opportunity, you gotta risk it and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, you can always go back to, in this case, to Spain. And at the beginning, it was hard, of course, as every new process. There were changes, things that I had to adapt to, culturally too. So I also was giving me the chance to explore that
Mhm.
and to take advantage of those changes, of those different things, because I knew they were gonna make a better athlete of myself, better
Yeah.
person too. I had the opportunity to combine school and sport, and that's something that is a little bit more difficult in Spain at a high level, and compete. I could compete not just with Dani, but with 20 more teammates, and that was unreal.
Oh, I'm sure. Great group of girls. Know a lot of them. Some are from California too, which is amazing. Um, Now, at what point um did you and Dani have Olympic aspirations separately, or did you actually have them together? Because technically, we see other athletes in collegiate beach, they're like, there's some of the Italians who were individually aiming to go to the Olympics and ended up going, like Yuli Poletti Corrales at TAM CC, and then now at LMU, and Giada Bianchi at FIU, and a few other names that are in there. But at what point did you decide you wanted to go? Was that something you did on your own, or did you and Dani decide together that you had those aspirations?
I think the aspirations came along with the results. Um, of course, we were committed to TCU, and we just went back during the summer to Spain to compete with the national team. And I think it was the summer of 2022 that we presented our project as a team to the federation, and we set up some goals like the European Championship, and maybe play consistently during the summer in the Pro Tour. And we even made it to semis in the European Champs, and that was amazing for, I think we were one of the youngest teams in the tournament.
Yeah.
Um, After that, next summer, 2023, we were ambitious. We met with our coaches, and and we committed to our goals. We wanted to accomplish that dream that was
Hmm.
play at the Olympic Games. We knew it was very, very difficult because we were missing months of tournaments of competing because we were playing also at the beginning of the year for TCU. So we started in May 2023
Hmm.
with 6 or 7 tournaments that we haven't played yet. We had to qualify to the World Champs because that was an important bullet for the Olympics. And we knew it was going to be a tough, tough fight against other teams that were fighting for that spot too. We wanted to qualify by ranking.
Hmm.
Top 17 teams in the world qualify by ranking. So we started 100 or like 110 ranked in the world rankings,
Uh-huh.
and we ended up 13 or 14 to qualify to Paris. And trust me, it was a roller coaster, lots of emotions, lots of tournaments, intense practice, and the
Hmm.
mind had to be there. Wow, you're 100%.
Yeah. Well, so you made that decision at the end of the collegiate season in 2023. So you took that, well, I say took the time off of TCU, but you were really training that entire time and having to qualify. But what was that time like for you, knowing that you had to go through qualification at all the big tournaments, training, and then even thinking about, well, how's that going to affect my collegiate career, not only as a student athlete, but also getting your degree? Did you have, what kind of experience were you going through with all that in mind?
Well, I always say that there's a lot of paperwork to do here in the United States, and mainly in college. We had to use Tina Graudina's example to get some support, some background there, and see if we were going to be eligible to play next year, or if we can just
Hmm.
like take the gap year and there were going to be no consequences. So that was part of the beginning of the process, and then it was such a weird feeling knowing that I was coming back, but it was like an endless summer. I knew I was competing and competing, and then we make it to the Olympics, and then I realized that the next week I'm back at TCU. So yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to process it, but still, like Dani already got her undergrad in May 2023. Um,
Hmm.
but I didn't. I came here 1 year after Dani did, so I knew I had to go back to school, and I always had that in my mind. Um, so yeah, it was weird feeling, mixed feelings, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it had to be. I mean, I'm sure that you probably managed a lot better than a lot of other people because you've had a disciplined schedule based on training, competition. Obviously, travel has to be factored into that. So it's amazing what you've been able to accomplish. Because if we look at your, I was going to ask about your Olympic experience. What was it like to compete against the best in the world? Although you had been already to qualify in such the setting.
I'm gonna start by saying that qualifying was beautiful. Um, I know that Olympic experience sounds unreal, magical, but the fight, the race that we had to do to fight for that spot and at the end getting that spot was just so special. And I've grown so much as an athlete, as a person, developed my skills, my emotional intelligence, everything that goes along with that. So I'm gonna start saying that, and then
Mhm.
once I was there competing, of course, the first game I was shitting my pants. I was so nervous. I had goosebumps. The night before was a rough night to fall asleep. I think Dani can say the same thing about the night before competing against Switzerland, our first game. And then the stadium was insane. We could see the Eiffel Tower right above us, and the first points were shaky, but then
Mhm.
you realize it was the exact same thing you were doing during an entire year, competing against the same teams. And yeah, it was one more tournament. And I have to say, it was really special for me to play in that stage because when I was 7 or 8 years old, I have a picture from the exact same spot. There used to be a
Mhm.
tournament there, and my mom played in it, so she was competing there. And I have this little baby Tania on that picture with the Eiffel Tower behind her. So it was really, really special.
Oh,
Also,
you were a baby and your mom was holding you with the
my
Eiffel Tower?
my mom was playing. I was 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
But yeah, it was well, Tania,
Okay,
baby.
you have to send me that picture so I can use that to promote this podcast
I
episode.
think I posted on my Instagram after Paris saying, "Hey, I was here 15 years ago, and here I am now." So yeah, that was beautiful.
Well, I know that at the Olympics, you would have rathered medal, which is always the goal for any team. They want to get the gold. Any athlete your level is wanting to get the top prize. But you and Danny placed fifth for your country as the youngest team in the world playing in that. I mean, that has to give you some kind of pride and joy and excitement of just being. I mean, yeah, it's great to be there, as you mentioned, but to do as well as you did at the age that you were, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. And when we realized we were history makers for getting the first Olympic diploma in history for a female Spanish team in beach volleyball, that was already something big. But you never know when you're gonna have the chance again to be fighting for that spot in semis, for fighting for the medal. So it was painful when we lost in quarters against Melissa and Brandy, team from Canada, because we knew we
Who
were,
medaled? Who go?
yeah, because we knew we were having the opportunity to fight for the medals. We gave it all. Sad, but also a lovely experience. Because we got that Olympic diploma, and we also learn from every single moment that we experience. So hopefully, if we qualify
Yeah.
the next one, maybe we're in the same position and we will bounce back. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, just
Well,
goosebumps.
what the world saw was young Spanish talents competing with heart and skill and determination. And you have to think that not only TCU, because obviously they were rallying behind you and supporting you, but a lot of the people that knew you in the States were really rooting for you as well. I mean, what does it mean to you that you had this large group of people who weren't even Spaniards? Well, there's some other Spaniards on TCU, but other people that were just rooting for you because of the people that you were and the connections you made here in the United States.
No, yeah, that was, as I said, beautiful. And sometimes we don't realize how many people are behind us, supporting and following our journey. And maybe our family members are the closest to us, and we realize they're always there. But then behind the screens or crossing the Atlantic Ocean, as you said, in the United States, there are
Hmm.
also people they're following, and we don't see that sometimes, and we forget about it. So I was so grateful for all the messages, all the people following. We even had teammates coming from the US with their parents to the stadium to
Excellent.
Paris. Yeah, it was insane. And the amount of people following, it's crazy. I felt so grateful, and also made me realize that this might happen like during the entire journey of
Yeah.
our athletic career. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Well,
Mhm.
I know from my personal standpoint, I was up in Seattle, Washington, watching your matches till 4 in the morning. So, between indoor and beach, I wasn't sleeping very much during the Olympics because I wanted to see it live. I didn't want to see the delay. So, but it's exciting to see you and Danny out there and other NCAA collegiate athletes out there. Tina, obviously from USC, Grodina, Latvia, and then Yuli of Paraguay. And who am I forgetting out here? I know I'm forgetting someone. Oh,
Americans.
the
You're
Americans.
Americans.
All the Americans. Big Kristen and Taryn and Sarah and Kelly Chang. It just was amazing because these are all athletes that I've come across and all through NCAA collegiate beach volleyball. And obviously the way that I've connected with you and Danny as well. Um, well, after the Olympics, knowing that you're going to be coming back to TCU to finish out your senior season, what expectations did you have for yourself?
For myself, just for
For
myself.
yourself and the team too. That was the follow up, but
I remember coming here, and maybe I think it was the second or the third day we had a team meeting, and I just said, I don't deserve any title. I don't deserve any trophy, or I don't know, any ring, whatever you get for winning a national championship. This program deserves it. This team deserves it. So I knew I was coming back, and I was putting everything that I had in my heart, in my mind, in my body, just for this team. Because if it wasn't for TCU, probably I wouldn't be in the spot that I am right now. TCU has given us, not just me, but Dani too, so many things, so many opportunities, and supported us in all different ways. So I just knew I was a different athlete for sure, more experience. It's my third year as a captain, so leading and providing the support that a team needs was one of my goals for sure. I also
Mhm.
said I wanted to finish empty. So whenever we're done, no matter the result at Gulf Shores, I want to feel empty as I gave everything to the team, and also full of joy, passion, love, and everything, all the positive things that this program is giving me. So those were my expectations. I think I'm doing great with those. I'm not done yet, and I want to finish strong with the team that I love.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, so great for you to hear or to hear that. Um, I know that as we are at the time we're recording here, we are a few days out from the CCSA tournament, which has changed a little bit because there's only technically four teams in the conference and there's no automatic berth. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Conference USA.
You're
Wait,
talking about, oh,
this season with the amount of teams that are in the conference. So, but you, I mean, TCU's been one or two, or actually top three, the entire season so far, I believe. If I going off the top of my head, but the final poll just came out, and TCU comes in at two. Tournament's coming up this weekend. Um, you've been sidelined for the last few weeks, but your team is still very successful. What are you anticipating we should be seeing here, not lineup wise, but the kind of play from TCU as we go into the postseason tournament and most likely, I'm going to say Gulf Shores.
I think our goals are super clear, not just result wise, but emotional wise too. Fight with passion, do it for the team. We have these words, one team. We always have that shared identity there. So we know we have a good chance. We have 12 seniors graduating this year, so the program is going to change a lot. And we know we've been fighting for this since a while already. So expectations, I would just say something's pretty similar to what I said personally.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it all, fight and accomplish that goal that we set up at the beginning of the year, and what I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned, this last bit, this last go for TCU, but I mean, some of the things that you and Dani have accomplished individually and together. I mean, AVCA Top Flight Awards, All-American multiple years, um, AVCA First Team All-American, all conference teams. You even have a Communicators 2022 Academic All District Women's at Large Award to your
Is it
name.
me?
So I believe so. I looked it up. I like, oh, she's got a brain. But you have so many great accomplishments already, and you were part of a team that has given TCU its first ever number one ranking, and this is the mind blowing number. I saw a social post and I had to look at it. Between you and the other graduating seniors, 588 combined pair wins. Um, what do you think about this team's accomplishment or this particular graduating class's accomplishment?
Yeah, that's a big number. I didn't even know someone was counting our combined wins. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, that is amazing. I don't even know. Like, it was a great feeling, and hopefully we can add some more wins over there because we're not done yet. So let's see if we can get to 600 and something.
Well, now with that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe I saw you. Oh, here it is. No, um, you and or Dani have received the 100 win plateau. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was
I, I was looking through your social, like I know I saw it on social or stories, but that is, I mean, I didn't doubt it by any means, but it's crazy to see someone with 100 wins.
Yeah, we got our 100 wins at our home tournament last week, playing against Houston, and everyone just jumped to us and celebrated with us. So it feels like it's part of the team too. So yeah, super happy and special because you're getting 100 wins with one person, and that's
Mhm.
on court together. But at the end, as I said before, you're sharing those wins with the rest of the team. So
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you as a senior, well, in a good way, a senior member or upper class person.
we're senior.
But if you look at the lower classmen or the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, um, who has really surprised you in the way that they've been playing in what could be coming up through TCU?
From our freshman class.
Well, just any of the people younger than you, because the generation continues on, and we know there's a good team. Like I said, I'm familiar with a few of the Californians on the team, so and I'm not saying that you need to mention their names. I'm just saying who has really caught your eye as far as like a competitor on the team that you've seen this year.
Well, I lost against UCLA 2 or 3 times already this year, so I'll say Sally Perez and Maggie Boyd are a super strong team there. And everyone I've played against, I can tell you that I cannot take anything for granted because they fight, they get to every single point with everything they have. And
Mm-hmm.
if you relax on court, it's going to be tight. So Dani and I have that focus to play at our 100% against whoever, always with respect. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot of urgency, a lot of courage, and yeah, and I see them enjoying too, which is great. So that's good for a new generation.
Well, how about the future of the Sandy Frogs? Like what player or pair have really performed like has really just caught your attention?
The future. Let's see. I don't know. I wish I had my crystal ball here, but I think we have a really powerful freshman class. Also 50% international too, but I think they can do great, and they're learning a lot because they came
Mhm.
here a little bit shaky, messy, but they're putting their things together, fighting really, really well. So I think they're gonna do great. We have Sofia Susquiza from Spain,
Mhm.
new German that came, Ellie. We have Alex, Sophia's. Oh, I already said Sophia. But Stacy from California, and Dani from
That's the
Latvia.
one. No, no.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
she's actually her hometown's a few miles from me. So,
So we have five super powerful freshmen that they're full of joy, of craziness too. I can tell you that, and good volleyball. So that's good.
well, you also have a freshman Latvian. That caught my eye because Tina.
Yeah.
I'm like, so
Yeah.
Tina, is there like this pocket of Latvians that are really good at beach volleyball, and that's about it? In
Yeah. We'll see.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's good stuff. Let me ask you this because you did bring it up about Sally Perez and Maggie Boyd, but do you find that the talent of the pairs not only is like at the ones now, but can be as deep as the threes and could be competing at the ones?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like we're seeing the most incredible play in
Oh,
those
yeah.
top three pairs.
I think the difference in the lineup is slightly, and when you have top ranked teams, we see Yuli playing on the fives, and she went to
LMU.
the six. Like it's crazy, but whenever you're playing against anyone, anything can happen, and everyone is just at their 100% playing, or no matter what. So
Hmm.
I think the difference is super, super small, and yeah. Last
Yeah.
year, Lina and Hami were on the ones, almost undefeated, and this year Lina's play on the four. Like, for me, there's not a big difference if you're focused on what you have to do and fight and play. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's all you have to do. Yeah.
Well, I just have to clarify for our listeners. So you're throwing some nicknames out there. Lena's Angelina Camille, and Hammy is Haley.
Sorry, sorry. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are very. And now Lena is playing as far back as the fours right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the deep talent in TCU. So got some retrospective questions for you to finish out our episode, but let's. Which one do I hit you with first? Let's go with if you could go back in a time machine to your 16-year-old self, what advice would you give her?
16-year-old. I wasn't even committed to TCU. I would tell her to be grateful for every opportunity along the way, to enjoy every single moment, every single experience, and to learn from those important things that really matter. And yeah, to enjoy the present.
Okay. And finally, what have you been most grateful for in your career the last 4 to 5 years at TCU?
Wow. Because I've been grateful for so many things, all the support from the program, the coaching staff, teammates, school too. Um, I don't know. I just know I'm gonna miss everything. So the shared identity that we have has given me a lot. So I'm grateful, as I said before, to my 16-year-old Tania, that every single opportunity has built the person and the athlete I've become. So yeah, every single moment. I don't know. It's been a long, long run, and it's so sad that it's about to finish. In 2 weeks, I'm leaving my jersey, but I know I'm leaving my heart too here. So yeah, I really hope to come back at one point, at least to say "Go Frogs" to my teammates.
Got to let it last here as long as you can here as you go into this final conference tournament and then Gulf Shores in that final weekend. Um, you know, it's interesting because seeing your development as a person and athlete here, it's pretty apparent that Hector and Maho are doing such a phenomenal job in the development of the athletes, not only from um, performance standpoint, but a person and personality standpoint. So I've always enjoyed the conversations we've had whenever I've seen you, and it's crazy to think this could be the last. Well, it's not gonna be the last time if you make the LA 2028 Olympics, because if I know you guys are there, I'm gonna get tickets.
Okay, let me know then. But yeah, let's go year by year, tournament by tournament.
Well, I appreciate your time this evening. This is Tania Moreno from Madrid, Spain, Spanish Olympian, All American, top flight recipient, and a very smart person. I just can't remember the name of the award, but Tania is so thankful that we were able to cross paths years and years ago and continued just chatting via through DMs and or seeing you at the competitions. But always a big fan of you and Dani and Team Spain. We're competing on all the volleyball worlds and FIVBs. So I'm looking forward to more times we can cross paths in the future. So I know I'm not going to get a chance before the end of this 25 collegiate beach season.
It was a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, truly an honor.
Thanks for listening to College Volleyball Weekly. Be sure to follow Rob Espero at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram and at Rob on the Mic on Twitter.